Blessings, peace, y'all. Y'all roll in. Like y'all already know what it is. East. Happy now. Now's a vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Definitely not about going too far in the past. I'm gonna kind of talk a little slow and let people kind of come into the room. Cause I will do a little more question answering with this type of video, because this type of video is more so like uh not exactly a Q&A. I mean, I got things that I want to discuss in essence, but just more of a go with the flow type of vibe. I want to speak about energetic liabilities, and pain bodies, like our own pain body. It's our ego is always looking for pain, looking for something to be negative about in essence. And with that, as above, so below, as within, so without, like we're going through these things inside of ourselves and it's personifying, outside of our body, as people who may be trying to, keep us in a certain vibration, but the only reason why a certain person is trying to keep you in a certain vibration is because something is going on inside of you that's in essence trying to keep you in a certain vibration. Always remember what's going on inside of you plays out outside of you. So, you know, because what's going on right now, I'm finding is like that vibe of like where you almost have to. So people that's close to you, in essence, quote unquote, family or friends or whatever, it's around that time where certain people that you're quote unquote close to may be displaying some demonic, trying to pull you down like behavior. You know what I'm saying? And it's always important to be aware that you know egoic mind, or the ego is like a disease. You know what I'm saying? So when you might find yourself in a situation where you're feeling like, damn, like my brother trying to really vamp me, or my sister trying to vamp me, or my mom or daddy trying to, you know what I'm saying? If you have situations that's feeling like that, it's just more so, you know, uh, like a demon, for lack of a better word, or just, their shadow self, their lower vibrations that's trying to, you know, misery loves company on all levels, you know what I'm saying? As above, so below, from the biggest level to the smallest level, misery is looking for company. And when you're starting to grow spiritually and you're starting to do things different and raise your vibration, that lower vibration in other people, you know it's seeing that. It's not so much the person consciously like, I see Universal growing his business and stuff like that. I'm gonna ask him if he want to drink a beer so I could sabotage what he doing. You know what I'm saying? They may not consciously think about it like that, but it just, again, it's a certain energy that's moving, that's trying to pull you down. That's trying to get at your coattails. As a matter of fact, with this new moon in Virgo, no, new moon is about setting new intentions, and what I'm feeling the vibe from is like this new moon in Virgo is gonna be a very substantial energetic change in our life, in essence. Like this new moon, from this moment moving forward, we're gonna see like a nice little strong change in our in our vortex and our energy and what we're doing. My living blessings from Norway. Appreciate the love. Bless. But it's definitely like that vibe, of the coattail pulling, like as you're rising up. And now it's gonna be the time too, when I talk about energetic liabilities. You know, I done spoke to this before, of course, but with certain people, they may be on their spiritual growth. They may be recognizing chakras and looking at crystals for the first time, but at the same time, you know, you are so far along on your growth that because y'all on different vibrations, of course, again, that person working on themselves as well, but you're still in different places, and you may have worked on a certain area and be done with a certain area that that person is still dealing with. And you know, in essence, that's why I'm thinking about when I spoke on energetic liabilities. I'm thinking about like people who, you know, their liability energetically, like point blank period, where you know they on their growth, but they still have slip ups. Like that person that you find is always having to apologize for crossing the line energetically. Like now's the time to, you know, I don't like to use that word of like, oh, you, because it shouldn't be, oh, I gotta cut this person off. It's more as you're just making sure you're staying connected with the people that uplift you, and you know, and it's beneficial to your energy. But you know, it's well, if you're dealing with a person again that doesn't recognize your energy, you know, and they, oh yeah, I'm light being, you know, meditate or whatever, but then they just constantly does something that energetically crosses your line, you know. It's like now you just wasting, you know, wasting your energy and time by just dealing with that person. Like you have to, you know, whatever the best way you see possible of delivering that message, but you know, you gotta let that person know, like, hey, you know, we on different levels of our growth. You know what I'm saying? I won't be able to, you know, hang with you as much or whatever the case may be. You know, it's an energetic liability. You dealing with people, places, and things that I no longer deal with. You know what I'm saying? And now is the time to take that a little more serious. Our spiritual growth is a playful thing. Don't get it twisted. You know, it's not about being like too serious to where you're fearful or scared. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it is about, you know, having a little level of seriousness about it, you know, if you care about it in essence, you know, because that's the thing too. We're at a time where, you know, only if you care. If you don't care, then all right, don't work on yourself and stay being that old self that you always complain about that you don't like. Like, you know, like, because a lot of us, like, I don't want to do this no more. You know, I dislike being broke. I dislike going to a 9 to 5. I dislike this and that. Well, you know, do what you got to do to change that. And, you know, sometimes that may be something that may be difficult, but you got to do what you got to do if you want to see something different. You know, because it's getting to a point where you're holding yourself accountable. If you want to see something different, then do different. But to sit around complaining, but you're not going all the way to trying to change things, then you deserve what you get. You know, point blank, period. Yeah, how I could be the closest person to you again because it's an energy thing. Like one of the most confusing moments, like was when you know, when I was in San Bernardino and I thought like my brethren Josh, I thought he was like being a straight up like consciously deliberate covert narcissist, and I had to realize that no, it wasn't necessarily him being conscious of that vibe as much as, you know, I had activated that vibration within him because I activated the codependent relationship, you know, of the super weak empath and the narcissistic, you know, or the narcissistic person, you know, like that's a symbiotic relationship, you know, but not in a mutual exchange of energy type of way, but it's a symbiotic relationship where one needs the other, just like a woman who, you know, thinks little of herself and don't mind being hit on attracts a person who, you know, thinks little of herself too and don't mind hitting on women. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a symbiotic relationship. But you know, I thought my brethren was like really on some like, damn, like he's really trying to, you know, and which was real is too by staying connected to your heart. Cause my heart chakra kept telling me like, nah, he's not deliberately doing it, but it is being done nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having me to realize that it's being done, but it wasn't him deliberately doing it. It was more so activation of an energy due to my codependent energy. You know what I'm saying? Because I was staying with the brethren, and you know my lower chakras, like my solar plexus, root chakra, you know, was spinning very slowly. So I was lacking confidence. I would, you know, there's a little bit of fear that done creeped into my situation. So I became that weak person, you know, for narcissist to prey on. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we are reflections of each other. You know, just like, you know, he displayed that narcissist energy. I got some type of narcissist energy within me. Just like I displayed that weakness energy, he has some type of weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Like just a symbiote. Well, you know, a potential of certain energies exist in all of us, and we are activated in each other in a symbiotic type of manner, in essence. 10 miles outside, blessings, blessings. Lanice, blessings from Baltimore, blessings from London, Indigenous Ashe, blessings, y'all. Much love to the domestic fam and much love to the international fam. But yeah, these this energy, again, it'll come to you. You know, you thinking it's a your relative or whoever it is really trying to be harmful to you, but it's just again, it's just energies. Before we are physical bodies and physical beings, we are a consciousness and an energy. You know what I'm saying? Light. And it's just a certain type of light vibrating on a certain frequency that's trying to, what I'm saying? Like the person in the back of the class, like the person in class that, that's just to throw a grade out there in fourth grade. That person in fourth grade that been failing fourth grade, they don't want to go to fifth grade, but they stay in that class and they clowning and they looking for somebody, looking for company. Misery loves company, because guess what? We're staying in fourth grade. Others are constantly growing. You know what I'm saying, and moving away from that person. They like, damn, so they can't never have a friend. So in order to get a friend, they gotta bring you down to their level and make sure you fail and stay in fourth grade just like them, so they could have some company and somebody to play with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, you know, we ain't going backwards. So like right now is an important time to like, be cutthroat about ignoring some people. Attention is a currency, and some people you might find yourself getting like trolling type of text messages or messages in general, or trolling type of interactions. Just leave it, like, just don't. And matter of fact, the energy is strong, I think, in Mars right now too, so you definitely don't want to really get into any confrontations, or but like, attention is a currency, and like I'm starting to see that those entities are kind of looking for that attention right now. They're looking for that company. You know what I'm saying? Misery loves company. So if you got a certain message from somebody that's trying to realize, like, unless you're under 17 years old, and you're still in that mind frame, and not only in the mind frame, because of course, if you're staying in the crib with your parents, to a certain extent, the roof over your head is being provided by them. So to a certain extent, you gotta at least act like you listen. So, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, you know what I'm saying? But if you're over the age of 17 or higher, man, there's nobody in this existence that you have to listen to or deal with, especially if they're being negative or trying to bring you into some old vibration that no longer serve you. You don't have to deal with it. You could ignore the fuck out of that person. So with that being said, because how can I say, misery loves company. In essence, an energy vamp is vamping for attention. So just think about somebody that just want to say, that walk up in a place and be like, fuck everybody, I don't like nobody in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the example of somebody that's being an energy vamp and looking for attention. And not only looking for attention, but they're looking for somebody to fuss back with them. Because when you fuss back with them, you're giving them attention. And that attention gives them energy. You know, the game is as simple as that. So when we say, for instance, somebody we've been running it with for a nice little while, and they've been talking about the good vibes, like, oh yeah, I'm meditating, this and that. But then out of the blue, they might come at you in a way where it's like, damn, they trying to pull me down, in essence. That because, again, levels of growth. They still on a level of growth where a certain level of darkness, and I say darkness, but a certain level of lower vibrations is still attached to them. And those lower vibrations not only attacking them, but is attacking anybody close around. You know what I'm saying? Again, energetic liabilities. And the only person that's going to save you is you. When you look around at your life in all situations, like, the only person that really, really truthfully looked out for the wholeness and fullness of your well-being, is yourself. You know what I'm saying? And in essence, if you've been around somebody who cared for you on such a level where it's just as good as yourself, then I would kind of say too that you might not want to keep the company of that person because they obviously probably love you more than they love themselves, and you might not want to be around somebody that don't love themselves. And matter of fact, and if you're attracting somebody that don't love themselves, that might mean that you got some type of lack of love for yourself, as well, and that's why they didn't gravitated towards you because you got that same lack of love for yourself. You know, be more on disconnect from family. Yep, like wanting to be alone. Cause matter of fact, even for me, like which I'm in an oxymoronic situation of like I'm just coming home at this time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being in a place, where a lot of the old energies, like what I used to deal with is in this place. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, still just making sure I stand up to this energy because while I'm out here, of course I done had a few times. In fact, that's where the crystals come in handy. A few times when I'm with family or friends, and they may be talking about a old situation that no longer serve them, or talking about the past. But like it's little times where I could kind of in essence let it slide to the essence of when I could feel that, it's not a demon necessarily trying to attack me as much as is that person trying to vent, but which at the same time, realize the teachings, we know that of course venting is cool, but venting from a productive standpoint, like if you're gonna allow somebody to vent to you about like a negative situation or whatever the case may be, make sure it's in a manner where y'all are allowing to look at the solutions as well. You know what I'm saying, Lord? It's not like just being an ear to, well, this happened to me in 2005. I remember when my boyfriend did this. I remember when my girlfriend did this, and I was sad and this and that. Like, if you're gonna, allow somebody, a friend, relative, to vent in that manner, make sure you let them know, like, yeah, I'm allowing you to vent, but it's so we could, fix up on this situation and have the vibe of like, all right, well, after that being said, now you know that you need to stay in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, clean that up. But, you know, you have to be taking your energy real serious because it's it's also like a cycle. You know what I'm saying? Where if you continuously don't put your foot down and you continuously do not set boundaries, then you're going to continuously manifest situations of energy vamps coming towards you, or people wanting to be negative around you, and then unconscious you could slip into a conscious mind, a mode of thinking like, all right, God is doing you something wrong, or God is testing you, because that's a thin line between, when we talk about, oh, this is just a test. Sometimes, like, again, is a thin line between a test and you manifesting a certain situation over and over again, and you in essence indirectly testing yourself by like you being in the loop of a certain negative energy. So you got to realize, like, all right, I gotta step out of this habit. You know, I gotta let this person know, hey, it's cool for you to vent, but I don't want to deal with positive energy. So if you're gonna vent, we're gonna find a positive solution to this. You know what I'm saying? Then when you cut that line short, then you'll find that it's less people looking to, vent in that type of manner to you because you done set that boundary. And again, like from a human moralistical standpoint, it's like, oh, you just ignore a person, or that's mean, or that. Nah, bro. Like we are gods on the human experience. So the human moralistic standpoint, that came from the egoic mind, a lot of that stuff. And it's not really our true God nature, the way we handle ourselves. So again, you know, a person that's trying to like, oh man, just any type of thing to try to create a back and forth argument, or to put it like this: if you get a message from anybody and ask yourself, can I answer this message without us going back and forth in a negative manner, or without us going back and forth in general? You know what I'm saying? Can I answer this message And is this message presented in a level that, again, that's gonna allow for me to just, answer and then fall back, you know what I'm saying? Or is this message kind of intertwined with, you know, energy vamping mind sweepers and time bombs, where the moment I reply to this person or whatever, then it's gonna create, like, this back and forth, when in essence, that's what that energy within that person was looking for, because the pain body, again, is looking for company, which I'm gonna kind of speak on a few things about the pain body from this Power of Now book. Matter of fact, man, y'all look, and reading this book, the fact that human beings walking around complaining about life, and, that's another thing. So, matter of fact, energetic liabilities. If you tell a person about, like, oh man, I got this negative thing going on, that negative thing going on, you be like, hey, well, that man, you should read The Power of Now. You should check out that book. And then they come back around you, like, some time later, they haven't bought that book, and then they still trying to complain about where they're at in life. That's, again, that's signs of an energy, like trying to complain. Like, the people that's around you should be uplifting you, at the least on the same vibration that you are on, or picking you up higher. You, like, that time of, like, allowing people to, like, yeah, man, my dog died, this and that. Like, well, that's not now. Right now, you are on side of me, you know what I'm saying, with the opportunity to focus on something different. So let's do that, you know what I'm saying. But again, you done told a person about the power of now, you know what I'm saying. You done told them, read this book, and and do this, meditate, do that, but they still find it so hard. And that's where things get real serious, on the level of where that empathetic, mind frame of wanting to save everybody. You got to cut that short and realize, like, all right, this person is not trying to save themselves, obviously. Because then you being blind, and giving into your little egotistical demon by allowing yourself to deal with that person, knowing that they not trying to help themselves. And because then that, in essence, that's you kind of accepting that part of you that's not trying to help itself. So you'll fall into that vibe, as well. But, again, I think about some people, I done told them about the power now, this and that. They still got these problems and stuff. It's like, I can't be no consultant for you now. I done told you where to start, and you ain't even started. So what makes you think that person gonna start listening to you now? That's another thing. Like, you done told that person where to start at, and if they still coming back to you on something where it's going negative, man, if you ain't listening to me then, and I gave you the straight sauce, the straight juice, then you're not gonna listen to me right now. And you start to see, when you take away your presence, when you ignore people and stay away from them, they have no choice but to get it. You know what I'm saying? And two, because you're not being that person. You're not allowing them to vamp the energy off of you as well by ignoring them, because you're detaching yourself from that energy. Matter of fact, all right, what y'all talking about? Apologies, y'all. It's like the Wi-Fi up in here got to crash at least once. I'm noticing that trend with live videos. It's like it got to crash at least once, you know. But, but yeah. So, I push to the. And Autumn Chapman, please realize too that Ancient Alien show is trying to get everybody to look at anything other than indigenous humanoids on this planet. Like, the indigenous humanoids on this planet existed. You know, the Sphinx has water erosion on it. So not only water erosion, so it's like, this is Sahara Desert, the most driest place. So it had water at one time, but that dates back from 10,000 years ago. So that ancient alien stuff, that's still like a little, it's a nicer version of racism, so to speak. It's like still trying to find a way to not credit the indigenous people for being so advanced technologically. So they make it seem like, oh, it was some aliens that came from outer space. And knocking what you talking about, like what you talking about with this octopus thing, may be true. Matter of fact, that is a little down. I feel like, yeah, octopus, dolphins, it is certain beings. I wouldn't necessarily say alien, because again, what's alien if God is everything and I am God and I am everything? What is alien? Think about that. Again, the word magic with these people trying. Oh, there's aliens. Well, and everything contradicts what they put out. I am God and I am everything in the universe, but this is the devil and this is not me. It's like, all right, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, blessing. Yeah, and two, our healthy boundaries as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? How healthy we drawing the boundaries on everything. That's that's the type of situation that manifests outside of us. So if we kind of energetically, we know we gotta stop doing something. Stop smoking a little bit or stop eating a certain food or whatever, but we still do it. Then in essence, that 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 lack of how could I say, boundary making in the way you take care of your temple is gonna manifest people, that's coming at you, how could I say, just like you're allowing that food to come in, you're gonna that's gonna attract people on the same vibration as that unhealthy food in essence. That's why again, as above, so below is complete like meditation and health, like dieting. I tell people that's the main things, you know what I'm saying? And of course, most importantly, staying in the now, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, when we talk about the now, when we talk about time is precious, time is only precious because the now is precious. It's not really the time that's precious, it's your now. It's this moment that's so precious and not actual time, you know what I'm saying? Because another thing about paying attention to to other people and stuff like that, and your own stuff, as above so below. You meditate, clean up your own thoughts, and therefore, when you clean up your own thoughts, it's less of the outside noise, you know, coming to because you got less inside noise. And when you are full of problems or full of mind noise, then there's no room for anything new to enter. No room for a solution if you constantly thinking about 3 years ago when your baby mama bust your window, or when your grandmother transitioned and so and so got in this wreck and passed away. You know what I'm saying? If you constantly in those thoughts, constantly uh, back and forth with your ex, like constantly dealing with some type of energy that don't serve you, then you won't be able to build on what does serve you, because you're constantly being attached to your past, or constantly being attached to some hindering energy or some energetic liability. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, for what this video is talking about. And again, this Virgo energy is about detoxifying on all levels, because when you detoxify the body, matter of fact, because another reason too, the toxic food, you won't, then you're gonna be in a vibe where you won't mind being around toxic people, you know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna continuously manifest a toxic situation, matter of fact, because speaking of continuously manifesting a toxic situation, this book speaks to a little part. Forgot how. All right, yeah, let me share this with y'all. Until you have dealt with the basic problem making dysfunction of the mind, its attachment to past and future, and denial of the now, problems are actually inter. Oh, all right, so I gotta read this back. The little sentences. As a matter of fact, I'll just even go along the lines to just kind of paraphrase it. So basically, to show you the importance of being now and how that really, creates spiritual liberation. Say, for instance, if all the negativity and unhappiness and suffering got removed from your life right now, bloop, just got removed. If you don't become aware of the present, you know what I'm saying, and learn how to be in the now, then even though all that negativity and all that got removed, because you don't know how to be present, you're gonna recreate that same insanity. You know what I'm saying? So you in a perpetual cycle until again, until you stop the unhealthy habits, until you set up those healthy boundaries. People are gonna constantly cross those lines. You know what I'm saying? But which again is an inside, inside personification. You're allowing your shadow self within you to always cross the line. You know what I'm saying? To And with this, it ain't about hating our shadow self, being mad at our shadow self, or judging our shadow self. It's about loving our shadow self, but at the same time, growing away from certain, aspects within the shadow self. Because definitely, you could find some benefits in certain aspects of your shadow self in essence. You know, but for the most part, your inner shadow is personified as something outside of you trying to pull you down. You know what I'm saying? So, say for instance, your shadow self of being a procrastinator. You in that mode, you kind of want to procrastinate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, as you're occupying that vibration, the universe is always at work. So while you in this vibration, the universe like hollering at all the procrastinators and like, hey, you know, this brethren universal, he bought that procrastination. Like, won't y'all link up? You know what I'm saying? So the universe is sending you, in essence, that shadow, so that what you're dealing with inside yourself. So now and then come like a few minutes later, or later on in that day, or the next day, you coming across people that's offering you to do things that's taking you away from your growth. And then see, that's when you go to thinking like, oh damn, these people is energy vamping. Are they? Well, not necessarily. Like, you allowed that procrastination vibration within yourself to kind of be accepted, and not like, there's a difference between acceptance and love. Like, whereas like acceptance on a level of like, well, I'm gonna still do it, acceptance. And then there's acceptance like, all right, I'm not gonna do it, but I still accept that this energy exists in me. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. But because you're allowing that procrastinator within you to kind of to kind of be active in your life, then it's gonna personify into people that's gonna be like, oh man, like right when you getting ready to start on writing your book or doing a video, that person come, man, let's smoke some weed, man, or let's do this, man, let's go down the street, let's, what I'm saying. And here it is where you are kind of, again, and that's why what conscious, the exact definition of conscious, because if you're conscious, you realize like, all right, these people is a personification of that little procrastinating vibe I've been on. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna recognize it. But if you're not conscious, you're gonna think like, oh man, these people are really trying maliciously energy vamp me. Like, man, these people, you know what I'm saying? And which of course is true indirectly in some way, form, or fashion. Yeah, they kind of set up to, you know, vamp you in essence, but there's a vamp that you created. You know what I'm saying? So it's that whole vibe as well. But again, yeah, if everything got lifted off of you, like all your unhappiness, all your suffering got taken away, if you haven't learned to be in the moment at all times, then you're gonna recreate that hardship. Cause the first thing, you know, like, matter of fact, let's say for instance, cause the mind used to this, you get all that shit lifted off of you. You're like, oh yeah, I feel good, man. But I remember when I used to drink and fall asleep all the time. I remember when I used to take them Xanax. Like, then you again, you'll go back to the vibe, that you'll go reminiscing and bringing, reactivating that. And as you reminiscing, like, yeah, I remember when I used to drink, and the subconscious mind only sees now, like it don't know that you're reminiscing. So as you're reminiscing, what it's doing, creating the algorithm, and putting the software out there to create that situation physically. So as you reminiscing, then next thing you know, again, out depending on how in alignment you are, it'll be minutes later, hours later, or the next day, somebody come up to you, man, I got a few Xanax you want. When, you know what I'm saying, like bringing you back to your old self. You know what I'm saying. So here it is. Well, again, you just gotta be in the moment. Like the moment is so important. And if somebody's trying to take you out of that moment, then don't deal with them. Point blank. Period. Like ask yourself, do you have to deal with that person? Like, does does this situation is this situation a situation where, in order to create my business, in order to live the best life ever, I gotta answer this person? Like, ask yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like like, will this spiritually liberate me? Will this make me feel good? Will this help myself and this person? Uh, just ask yourself, like, will it be positive? Will it be beneficial? And if that's not the answer to the question, then ignore that message, ignore that person completely. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. Matter of fact, you're gonna love me and yourself for taking that advice. Like, trust me, in the long run, you're gonna be grateful. But I can't buy anything. Shower head. Yep, grounding, sun gazing. It's very important right now. And again, yep. And again, with this Virgo energy, detoxifying the body and organizing things, nurturing yourself. That Virgo, that virgin Virgo, that woman like energy, you know what I'm saying? Nurturing, taking care of yourself, taking care of your business, taking care of what you gotta take care of. You know what you gotta do in order to raise your vibration. Do it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the energies is lined up on a level where you can only, blame yourself, in which I don't want you to do that. But you know what I'm saying? You would only have yourself to look at if you're not, where you would like to be, because of what you allowed your own self to do in essence. So again, detoxifying on all levels. Make sure you're eating the right food. Consumption. Your eyes consume things. So what you consuming, what you looking at all the time, what movies you're watching, or lack thereof. What you watching people do all the time. Like something as simple as being like, say for instance, I'm back home in Opelousas. Being in a little neighborhood, they could have little fights pop off and stuff like that. Am I going to look and consume, like always looking at violence? Am I always looking for violence? Because that's what I'm consuming. That's what I'm creating. What I'm listening to. That's what I'm consuming and creating. Am I listening to shoot a motherfucker in his leg? I done stole the work from the plug. You know what I'm saying? And much love to all my brethren who's making music. You know what I'm saying? But again, because now if that's the lifestyle and the energy that you want to create for yourself, again, because this is an open-minded and in a real situation of, like, to each his own on how you feel you should, be. I'm speaking to people who tired of the insanity that they could obviously see in our existence and in their life, in essence. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm speaking to. The people who don't feel like anything is wrong with what they're doing. Those people like, oh man, why my homie gotta get killed? Why my homie get shot? But then right back in the situation that that your homie was in, you're creating the same situation, that same insanity. And after the next person get killed, you're gonna complain and cry again. It's like, you gotta take yourself out of that insanity if you want to see different. You know what I'm saying? Like, point blank, period. And right now, it's that Bhagavad Gita vibe. The Bhagavad Gita. With Krishna. Krishna, the Christ energy, and Arjuna. Arjuna was a representation of our, in essence, our human nature, of ourself. You know what I'm saying? Of our, just, yeah, you could say our human existence. But like, Arjuna is like a battlefield. Arjuna and Krishna is on the battlefield. This battlefield, in essence, is the battlefield. What's going on inside of the spiritual battle that goes on within our bodies and that trickles outside of our bodies. But Arjuna looked across the battlefield and he saw his family members. And Arjuna was like, oh man, he was like, man, Krishna, bro, that's my family members and stuff like that. And I can't fight them. Krishna was like, bro, that's not your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are on the energetic side that you are on. Those beings over there are not your family members. Because obviously they're not energetically vibing on the same vibe you on. You know what I'm saying? Now, just the personification of this story in that context is not to say we're up against, because again, the spiritual awakening is not about the feminine combating against the masculine again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, because then we just gonna keep fight. You know what I'm saying? It's an intertwining of energies. You know, it's not one energy trying to take over the other. As I forgot what I was talking exactly to. It'll come back to me. Oh, the Krishna Arjuna vibes, and like, with this detoxifying situation is like removing yourself from all toxic situations, all of them. Like, I don't know how many times, and I say, for instance, because I love my mom and I know my mom is open minded. you know I I deal with her, but I deal with her by keeping it real. Like, well, I let my mama know, like, hey, I don't deal with negativity. Like, so if you want to talk about this, look, I'm not the person to listen. But whenever you want to be you know what I'm saying? Like, I talk to my mom in a cutthroat manner when it deals with energy. Because I wanted to learn about it. You know, now again, back to the energetic liability. When my mama becomes, or like, say for instance, when she was more of an energetic liability, I was talking to her less. I was dealing with her, like, so, and that's how real it is. Like, like even my mom. That's why I tell people, I'm like, bro, if I energetically check, my mom on some stuff, then for sure I'm about to check you. And two, that's what keeps me strong at setting that boundary, because you know I don't know, woken to a level of like, bro, almost like I ain't going back in the past, bro. By hell or high, I'm not going backwards. Like, and I'm not allowing nothing, not myself or no other person to take me backwards, you know. And that's how you should feel about your spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you want to really get out of the insanity, because if we don't really want to get out of the insanity, then all right, then we could play with it a little bit, you know. But definitely want to get away from that vibe. Thoughts on feeling people's anxieties and how do you work with them? It's not our job to be a psychiatrist, or, and when I say that, energetically, I do have how can I say, a vibe to where I love to help people. Like, I love, like, matter of fact, dealing with consultations. Like, my crib in Baton Rouge was basically like I was indirectly doing consultations before was funny, and I'm not even doing now, which I need to implement. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's all right to deal with people, but like, when, say for instance, you're talking about anxiety, a person having anxiety problems, again, deal with people in the manner of like, where you let them know what's up. Like, not for one, don't deal with nobody who's not trying to listen to you, or that's always like where you give them the information, and they always with some rebuttal, making an excuse for their lower self. Man, I be really needing the Xanax. But you know what I'm saying? Like, then that person may not be ready for you to really, deal with them on that level. You know what I'm saying? And dealing with anxieties, you know, say what? I mean, yeah, as far as feeling them, of course, yeah, you could pick up on others' anxieties. And as far as like trying to be that helper for a person dealing with the anxieties, only if you feel your heart, and you feel like you feel in your heart, your higher self and your inner source is telling you to help that person, and you feel like you really got the energy, and that's what's right for that situation, then by all means. Because again, it's not about listening to what anybody see on any videos on YouTube or what a book tell you or anything. It's really, at the end of the day, that's why meditation and all that is important, and clean your body, because then you could hear your heart clearer. So at the end of the day, it's about following your heart, and being true to yourself on that level, and not listening to no outside stuff, but more so, your inner source. Yep. Yeah, like, it's either I got a situation for myself where I say it's either hell yes or hell no. You know, say for instance, I got a message from somebody. They ask a question. They could ask a question about something, but again, I, just point blank period, like I'm basically psychic in the essence of like being able to strip down the whole situation. So somebody got a message and they ask me about something. I could read through that message and see that that person is just sending a message just so they could talk to universal frequencies and say, "Hey, I talk to universal." Like I could read between all that bullshit. So it's like, I cross the message and there's a hell yes or a hell no. It's like, all right, I really feel the urge to want to answer this person to help this person, so I will, because the urge is strong. But if the urge not strong, or if it's not there, then it's a hell no. So it's either hell yes or a hell no. Because if I feel that I'm gonna be into some little, that's one thing I realized, man. Like, and I realized the energy vamping of that situation of like going back and forth with somebody or having to over explain yourself through text messages and stuff like that. It's like, nah. And again, ask yourself, do I have to deal with this? Is this something that I have to go through? You know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of times, in more cases than not, you don't have to go through this. Again, unless you like 17, 16 or under, and you kind of, in essence, to a certain extent, you kind of have to deal with what your parents dealing with, in the house because you're living under their roof, but outside of that, bro, once you get to a certain age, and two, this country mind in the South, like where even when you grow up, you still had that vibe, but like you gotta listen to your uncles and aunties and your family. Like, nah, fuck that shit. I say it straight up to any one of my uncles and aunties. Matter of fact, because I've been indirectly saying it since I've been out here. Like, I love everybody, I love y'all, but guess what? My life is my life. I'm not stressing myself out behind what you think I should do and what you think is a good idea, or you know it's like, nah, like I don't. I got this. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole vibe. Again, detoxifying, getting all that outside stuff outside, get it out. Matter of fact, because the whole thing to detoxifying your body is, because say for instance, when you're not consuming, you know, outside foods, especially artificial foods, because artificial foods got things, in essence that's out that don't exist within your physical biology. You know what I'm saying? So like the way our bodysuits set up, and certain manufactured foods with these poisons and these red dyes and all these things, that's not compatible with our biology. So when you consuming that, it's like bringing a foreign energy into your body. You know what I'm saying? And with matter of fact, so even though God is everything and all this, God the closest to, if you want to call something alien, it would be like something that we manufactured artificially. You know what I'm saying? But even then, it's still an act of God in essence, in that, in the full reality of the situation. But again, like that's why detoxifying the body is so important, because whatever you're eating, it carries a certain vibration. That vibration influences you, and depending on how strong you are, on staying in alignment with your inner source, you may be influenced by that food. You know what I'm saying? Because you eat a certain food, you know, and then now you kind of less caring about setting boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because that food vibrating on the same frequency is the say, for instance, just for example, the food that you just ate is vibrating on the same frequency as the wine that was sitting outside the stove. You know what I'm saying? So like indirectly you will catch the vibe to want to sit outside the stove and just sit out there with the wino. And again, just for hypothetical speaking in the context of what I'm speaking on, but I'm not knocking the lifestyle of a wine or whatever. You know what I'm saying? To each his own on the lifestyle, but compared to what we doing on the spiritual growth level, you know what I'm saying? You definitely don't want to be vibrating on that frequency. But I mean, truly and honestly though, another thing too is to realize, like, just falling in line with what you fall in line with. You know what I'm saying? So if a person finds themselves not energetically growing in this lifetime, then that's their fate for this situation. And I say that's their fate, like they can't change it. They could, but I mean, obviously, if they're not, then you know what I'm saying, and it is what it is. But Yep, Vesica Singh. Love to get you to over explain yourself or be in some type of defensive mode. You know, it's like, bro, I'm cutthroat and cold towards that, man. If I don't have to deal with it, I ain't dealing with it. Cause I realized the vamping within. Matter of fact, I done got caught slipping too many times to where I could only say, shame on myself if I get caught up by any vamping situation from here on out. You know what I'm saying? And shame on myself double time because in most cases, sometimes if a vamp is around you, you done created it with some type of mind situation. You know, with something that's going on inside you. So at the end of the day, but it's definitely dealing with what's truly important to you right now. Again, this Virgo energy, the nurturing, and matter of fact, and bringing things down into the physical, organizing things, kind of course, Virgo deals with Mercury, but the earthy vibration or earth signs, in essence, kind of have like a Saturn like or number four like energy. So it's like boundaries, foundation, responsibilities, what I'm saying, taking care of your business. So, of course, we visualizing and doing our metaphysical work, but we're also doing the physical work as well. And again, just detoxifying our bodies on all levels, staying away from toxic foods, consuming toxic things with our eyes, consuming toxic things with our ears, you know, consuming toxic things with our bodies as far as like energetically who we are around, you know what I'm saying? Like just eliminating toxins on all levels, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole vibration right now. Is like whenever we get to, and you'll notice it, like whenever we get into a place of strongly growing and or like where the energy really supports our growth, like you'll find that a lot of energies will start to pull at your coattail, you know what I'm saying? Because certain energies feeling you leveling up, because the higher and higher you get, the harder it is for somebody to grab at you. You know what I'm saying? But if you still kind of playing with that energy, you know what I'm saying? Well, you get a message and you know you shouldn't answer, but you still play around and answer. You still floating close to that energy. So that energy still could bite at you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta raise your frequency and it's about balance. You know what I'm saying? It's not about feeling like you against any energies as far as like the masculine, feminine, light and dark. But as far as like old energies though that's trying to hinder your growth, it's like, man, grow further and further away from it. You know what I'm saying? Then you get to a place where you can't even, you don't even get those types of messages because you're so much focused on, being around others who taking care of themselves and helping others. Therefore, you doing the same. Like you're around the vibrations that benefit you so much that again, what you focus on grow, the law of attraction, you know what I'm saying? The more and more you start focus on the things you want and the things you love in life, the more and more it manifests and less you see the things that you don't want in life. Let's say, for instance, if somebody send me a message and they talking about something I don't want to deal with, the old way of friend, I ain't say the old way, but your egoic mind being caught up in our, because the old way of thinking is most our egoic mind. So, the egoic mind get caught up in that. So if a person send you a message, you could just stay above it and be like, I ain't been dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Knowing better, like stand on that vibration instead of like falling back into that vibe. Hard fruits, yeah. Yeah, seem commit the fruits raw diet is definitely like one of the quickest ways to make sure, you know. In fact, an energy vamp. Remember again, a personification of what's going inside of you. Our egoic mind is tricky as hell, so that's why the people outside us be tricky as hell. It's the exact personification. And always remember too. So another reason why I stand away from, and reason why it's important to stay away from these energetic liabilities and detoxifying your body because Your right now is constantly important. What you're doing right now. Right now, are you still messing with energetic liabilities? All right, the universe, like, well, yes, he's still messing with energetic liabilities. Let's send him more because that's obviously what that person wants. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that person not detoxifying. They don't care about detoxifying. But we gonna look. We're gonna put more cakes and muffins in their face and more sugar and salt and unhealthy foods. More people inviting them to eat foods that's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you wonder, like, oh man, the universe trying to attack my dude. Well, no, you attacking yourself by you kind of not taking your detoxifying situation important. Manifests outside just people not taking it important and trying to pull you into eating horrible food. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact manifestation of what's going on inside you at all times. This never stops, ever. That's why, the whole part of our spiritual growth is getting into the habit of, paying attention to beneficial things. So that becomes our reality instead of those old things that we're trying to get rid of. The way to get rid of them is not by paying attention to them, it's by not paying attention to them. That's what people fail to realize. Of course, we take physical action in this world, but like again, like a lot of people think I'm on that turn another cheek when I bring up that, like ignore the Donald Trumps and ignore the government. But I mean, like on some real esoteric shit, they not really putting their hands on you. So why do you have to focus on them on a fit? Like, well, I gotta get a gun and protect myself. Isn't that you're creating? Matter of fact, because it's much love to the brethren of the Grace Tribe brethren. You know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact that the way the universe works, we don't need to uh, load up on guns because not only you're inviting the problem to use that gun, but you create the world with your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even have to deal with things on that level. But again, it's a growth, and for me too, respecting everybody growth. You know what I'm saying? Well, honestly, like I respect what he's doing in that sense of like he's because I see the light in what he's doing and just the genuineness of he's just trying his best to just make a better way for people in that sense. But I definitely I'm a firm believer in, of like, our mind creates everything. So to feel that we gotta do so much physical, of course, physical comes with us being in this physical existence, but it's acting off inspired, off of being inspired. But again, it's creating with our thoughts and our words. So, with me, I don't carry no gun and I don't come across, I don't see nobody. I ain't ever since I started cleaning up my energy, I never had nobody confront me. On no level of like, I'ma shoot you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what you know what I'm saying? So if you feel like, oh, the white man doing this or the oppressor doing that or, this and that, perpetually by paying attention to it, you creating that reality for yourself. Point blank, period. You could assume, but I don't know, man. It seemed like that stuff, man. Point blank, period, man. When you focus in your now, nothing else could exist. Like unhappiness cannot exist, cause, like say for instance, in the moment, all that past shit that you be thinking about and all that future anxiety don't exist. Only the moment, like, and for the moment to be bad, you would have to be constantly be being punched by somebody in the face constantly in that moment to a point where they're not letting up to give you a chance to say, I'm not getting punched in this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, like, even if you just got punched, right after that punch, what you doing? Like, you're not getting punched no more. You know what I'm saying? Because even like, ooh, all right, bam, that hurt a little bit. But that's contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in the moment of something that would be quote unquote bad, you could still find the now and find a place of, you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, if you find yourself getting hit by somebody, that don't mean, how can I say, to not defend yourself and hit back in essence, you know what I'm saying? Not saying to, but just in the essence of comparing, just speaking of the now in that context. We're not talking about fighting. We're not trying to fight nobody. Because in essence, too, though, if you find yourself in a situation of having to defend yourself, you attracted that situation in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is with that. Yeah, yeah. That's basically it, y'all. Just really, really detoxifying. Really staying in the moment, staying out of the past, not going too far in the future. Just being in the moment. Again, if you feel with problems, if you're always thinking about your past, always anxious about your future, you have no room to allow new things to enter. You have no room to create something in this moment because you're constantly focused and traumatized by your past, or being anxious about your future. You gotta be right now in this moment. And if you feel like something coming in the future or whatever, like, then just do what you gotta do right now. You know what I'm saying? The quality of your consciousness at this moment is what shapes your future. Remember that. So, are you sitting around, you know, going back and forth in messages, going back and forth with a person in your now? Because if you're doing that now, that's going to create more of that. You know what I'm saying? In your future nows. You know what I'm saying? Which now creates your future. You know, now I'm doing a video. Now I got over 900 videos. Now is the vibrate. Now I'm doing what I love. Now I'm focused on manifesting the things that I truly love and want. You know, the outsiders could be like, oh man, Universal barely talk on the phone, barely call people, Universal barely text. But that's just for some human, like, little, contact or certain situation. In essence, when you look deep at it, it's probably because they're trying to pull you into a situation, that don't serve you. But because that's another thing, the people who love you and vibe with you are gonna respect where you at in life, without no question. So if anybody feel like you're being funny or different or anything, then stop fucking with them, straight, point blank, period. Now, if they're real close to you, you can put an asterisk by a situation because different situations different. Well, we know what we dealing with personally, and some things different. Where you might feel that person on the edge of changing or whatever, whatever. To each his own with how you feel. But man, look, now is the time to not fuck around with the fuck around. It's like point blank, period. It's like the zombie movies too right now. The Bhagavad Gita, like how the zombie movie, mom or daddy or little brother, sister, get bit by the zombie, you know, and one person in the family like, oh no, don't kill him, don't shoot him. It's like shit. They no longer themselves. They the zombie. They done got overtaken by their flesh. They no longer the God that's on the human experience, that they came down as. They a zombie now. They no longer, what I'm saying? They no longer a God. They no longer, what I'm saying? Knowing that they everything in creation, they're a zombie now. They in their bodysuit. That bodysuit consuming them. So you gotta, what I'm saying? In the analogy or in the context of a zombie movie, you gotta shoot that zombie. But that's a zombie. That's not your family member or your friend no more. That's something that's trying to eat you. Point blank, period. And even though, you looking at, the visuals say and show that this is my relative or this is my friend, energetically and what they trying to do and the way they coming at you is saying otherwise. You know what I'm saying? They like, want food. You know what I'm saying? And you just energetic food. So again, the quality of your consciousness in this moment is what shapes your future. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. And again, just staying away from the energetic liabilities, y'all. You can told this person, oh no, I'm a vegetarian, but then they just keep offering you cookies or, unhealthy food. Nah, it comes off as nice, and again, and also remembering that, when these energies coming at you, don't take it personal as you're Now I ain't gonna lie, it's a thin line with that too sometimes, because sometimes I could feel that some people is consciously, where they even put it out, in which of course is not their soulful self, and their higher self is their egoic mind. But nonetheless, I felt somebody egoic mind purposely tried to bring up something or do something to try to bring me down. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, most people are doing it unconsciously. The reason for the name unconscious, you know what I'm saying? They're unconscious. They don't, they just, you know what I'm saying? They just, matter of fact, unconscious. They being eaten by their own flesh and by their own lower nature and don't even know what's going on. They're unconscious. Yep, naturally, Malika. You gotta leave, you gotta leave sis alone. Then, you know what I'm saying? You don't let her know what's up. That energy, like, nah, fuck that. Misery loves company. Gossip with me. Come down here to this level with me. You know what I'm saying? You gotta maintain your vibrational integrity. Like, you gotta let people know, like, nah, I don't give a fuck if it's crickets, and then make the whole family look at you like, well, fuck it. Then you don't need to be around the fam. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's getting at now. You know what I'm saying? Because part of me being back home is realizing the fam that really is growing and connecting with them. Realizing the, matter of fact, family and friends that's really growing, and realizing the family and friends that's maybe not growing, and that I shouldn't really be you know worrying about, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we'll fall into this vibe empathetically, where we want to save the world, and we want everybody to win, quote unquote. We want to see everybody do good, and but the actuality of it, some people don't even want to see themselves do good. You know what I'm saying? And you can't help somebody that don't want to help themselves. That is impossible. You know, we only here sharing and dealing with people who want to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Because, like, again, for me, I coming out here, I'm catching family and friends. Again, it's like a surprise on both sides. Like, I'm catching family and friends that's surprising me at how woke they are and how much they really want to, deal with this situation. Like, a few of my cousins, like, I'm like, damn, I'm like, all right, I'm like, I see y'all, you know what I'm saying, bring you that joy, you know what I'm saying. Then you might have some of the family and friends, like, still like, oh well, you should get a job, and and are you sleeping outside, or that's a negative situation. You shouldn't be sleeping outside, or and he still got that. They're like, oh well, I love you from a distance. Blow your kiss. I can't kiss. I probably can't kiss you. I don't want to be too close to that energy, but I still love you. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't find out, surprisingly, how some family members and friends, are awakening. And I find out how some people, stand the same, if not worse off, you know what I'm saying, and being more negative. Because again, this is like the times of, I don't want to make it sound biblically and all scary, isn't it? But the time of the rapture, revelation, things are changing. Either person is raised into this five-dimensional place, or they staying in the old spot. You know what I'm saying? Not going where we going. And you're seeing that with a lot of people. Like, with coming back home, I'm seeing a lot of people deal with the extremes of being on the, in their lower nature. And there's certain people that never really dealt with that before. Like, it's like people that was always on top of their game to a certain extent, dealing with stuff, because it's probably certain demons that they was always running from, and now that stuff is coming out. And being drug out to the forefront. You got to be strong on a spiritual level to get past it. Yeah, birds chirping. Like, you getting too dark. In fact, you see how bad racism is, to where even black people are racist against themselves. God damn it! Where you got a whole continent called South America. You got a whole place called South America. You got Mexico, you know, India, like all these places. You know what I'm saying? Well, they treat a black person in America different, or like they lower. You know, when they the same, like we all connected. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. And what's crazy too, like I'm in Louisiana where, bro, you think racist, like, bro, like they got families and quote unquote black family, you know what I'm saying, that will, matter of fact, to show you coming from that European vibe and where they get this mind frame from, because like the Rothschild family, you know what I'm saying, they incest to keep their bloodline a certain way. Well, in my area, and I look, I don't give a damn about nobody egos. I'm putting that shit on blast, like, cause that's ego. I can see if it was spirit, I wouldn't, cross that line. But that's somebody ego, so that shit is ridiculous. So anyway, like, well, there's some families in this little Opelousas, Acadiana, Cajun area where indirectly they incest to keep their family bright or light skinned. You know what I'm saying? Just so their family won't get dark skinned, they make sure they they marry and have sex within their relatives. Where it may, and it may not be like straight up like your first cousin, but it'll be like distant relatives where they'll get married to, you know, their great grandmother or their grandmother's sister children. You know what I'm saying? Like on some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Just to keep things a certain color. That's the insanity that that's definitely in Louisiana. That vibe is ridiculous. And again, seeing how much racism is implemented to whether even the people being oppressed is being racist towards themselves. And matter of fact, that's the whole reason too. Whereas a thin line between the, having pride for your bodysuit as a melanated person, but being too overly prideful. Like you definitely want to have be proud of your bodysuit. You know what I'm saying? Because too many people, creating a situation for you to hate your bodysuit and dislike, your bodysuit and dislike, your brothers and sisters because of their bodysuit. So that's where it's beneficial to, love the skin you're in, you know what I'm saying, to love your physical nature, you know what I'm saying, without getting too caught up in it, you know what I'm saying. But it's because the world is in this situation because of lack of love for its melanin in essence, you know what I'm saying. As above, so below. You don't love yourself or you hate yourself, then it trickles out into not loving yourself, you know what I'm saying, into the world. Point blank. Yeah, yeah, of course, vibe rational. If they allowed outsiders to come into their family, yeah, of course. I'm talking about both, my brethren. I'm talking about Illuminati bloodline and black people. I'm talking about the black people in Louisiana or in the South, but sure for sure though in Louisiana though, because the reason why like more people like, oh, y'all got a lot of mulatto people or yellow bones or whatever, you know what I'm saying, like light skinned black people. I'm talking about light skinned black people in Louisiana in comparison to the Illuminati bloodlines, and how just that European mind frame of incest to keep a certain color in essence, you know what I'm saying, and to keep a certain like, a certain control over things, you know what I'm saying, it's an incest, you know what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking about, like how just the slavery vibes and the racist vibes was so strong through Louisiana and through the South that even to the point of having black people be racist towards themselves in essence and hating their own blackness. Well, again, you got bright people, families of light skinned people in this area that kind of make sure that they marry more. Like, I remember my, like, picture this used to be my grandmother. My grandmother used to, like, and what's funny, the taboo, showing you how, like, it's taboo in essence. Like, well, my grandmother grew up in one of those type of mulatto families where, like, they looked at dark skinned black people as, like, something bad and not to deal with, even though they were black themselves, you know. And what's real though goes to show you though that it is what it is. My grandmother married my grandfather, and my grandfather happened to be blacker than blacker than black. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. She taught the mind frame. I guess she knew what it was. Her heart told her otherwise. And then my grandfather happened to be this big black guy. You know, so it's just a whole. Them vibes is crazy, but yeah, she used to like frown upon it, like, oh, who is that? Matter of fact, to the point of not liking our, like, if we had dark skinned friends as her grandchildren, like she would kind of be like she didn't really like for our dark skinned friends to be in the house, like literally, like, so almost like indirectly being just as racist as a white person. You know what I'm saying? In which I'm from the south, I'm in essence with my bodysuit, I'm mixed, so I'm white, black, or whatever. So all this, it's like just all the insanity down here. Just insane. But I digress. Just remember to stay away from the energetic liabilities. Those people who you told you live your life on a certain vibration, and they still bring up negative situation. Like, I know you're positive, but let's focus on this negative thing. Like, nah. Like, start to realize that as much as a smile and laughter could be attached to something, that doesn't make it good. Matter of fact, shout out to Samuel Jackson on what that was on the movie Juice, where it was like, nigga, just because you pull syrup on something, don't make it pancakes. You know what I'm saying? Just because you pull syrup on something, don't make it pancakes or waffles. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So just because you see a smile, just because the intentions seem good, it's about the energy that it really gives off. What's the reality of the energy you feel from the situation? That's what's really going on. That's how you should really deal with it. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's no such thing as bad or good. When you talk about bad people governing the world, it's it's the contrast that exists. In order for there to be light, they have to have some dark. You know what I'm saying? We just again, what's going on is we're spiritually awakening within ourselves. Recognizing our shadow self, shining a light on our shadow self, and as we do that, then it trickles to the outside world. So it's not like the government is bad or anything. Because if the government bad, then you bad. Because your thoughts and your mind manifest this world. So the fact that the government, if you think the government bad, it seems bad, then it's still you. But there's no bad or good. It's only the dual nature of just polar opposites. You know what I'm saying? Cold and hot is the same thing. They both temperatures. They just on two different sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Good and bad is both for experience in essence. You know what I'm saying? Something that could be perceived, but it's just just polar opposite perceptions, but still at one and the same. Two sides to one coin. Go. As a matter of fact, that person who asked that question, will take a look at some of my latest videos. I kind of dip into that a little more strongly because I don't want to. That ain't where I was trying to dive into again. But at the same time, I do realize though the universe, because that I do feel though like what we're really being pushed to do right now, as far as like on the spiritual level, with sharing information with people, is making it known on how your subconscious is so important to program that, and dealing with the fact of accepting duality and knowing that there is no good versus evil or light versus dark or this and that both things have to exist for the other one to exist. You know, if everything, uh, if there wasn't, everything would be bland and plain. Like everything would be just one temperature. Everything would just be one smell. It would look the same. It wouldn't have no difference in anything if we didn't have contrast. Contrast, it creates our experience. You wouldn't be able to have a life of, creating things that you truly, truly love if things that you truly don't love didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? You got to have something to dislike in order to like something. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have nothing to dislike, then liking something can't exist either. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of need each other to exist in essence. You know? Yeah. Does having dreads change the energy revived by your hair? Uh, I don't know. I'm not comprehending that question fully. Matter of fact, and you see me like how I'm talking about energetic liability and detoxifying and Zoltan 300. I'm not saying that you vamping or anything in this moment, but I'm laughing at how like where I didn't get your line of questioning, so I just kept it moving. Like I didn't like struggle or harm myself or stay in it. You know what I'm saying? Like oh, I didn't really catch it, so I guess it wasn't meant. But just dealing with our hair, our hair is antennas. You know, connecting that wisdom. Matter of fact, and the wisdom comes from having an energetic collection of your past energies with you as well. You know what I'm saying, and not in the essence of staying in your past, but just all that wisdom from your past experiences. Because in essence, what a wise person is a person that experienced all kind of things. Went through a lot of things in life and learned from it. You know what I'm saying? So the dreads in essence is a representation of that. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, with the with the color vibe, yeah, man. We gotta love the skin we in, man. Again, we are vibrations on the human experience, but at the same time, on this human experience, we do have a little bodysuit. And if you coming down and you trying to love life, then you have to love the bodysuit you in order to love the life you live in. You know what I'm saying? So loving yourself first and foremost. But I digress, y'all. About to end this video. But remember, the quality of your consciousness at this moment is what shapes your future. So, where your consciousness at in this moment. Stop allowing yourself to be distracted by somebody trying to troll you. If you don't have to deal with talking to that person or answering that person back, then don't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Like, don't. Now is not the time to deal with energies that we don't want to deal with. And there's a thin line. We got certain things that we know we have to work, and we feel it in our heart, but we know, like, all right, I got to work through this energy to, transmute it and get to this next spot, and I'm gonna be done with it. There are situations like that, but then there's some situations where it's just trying to, again, just trying to pull you down, because it's one of those with this new moon in Virgo, we reaching one of those little strong little level up moments. You know what I'm saying? And with a level up moment comes somebody that's in that past grade. So it's like somebody that's in the fourth grade, we leaving fourth grade, and somebody in fourth grade that know they failing, and they want somebody to clown with. So they trying to grab you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nope. Yeah, I'm going to fifth grade. I'm going to sixth grade, seventh grade. I'm continuously growing. It's the whole vibe. But yeah, yeah. Again, because that's important. The quality of our consciousness at this moment is what shapes our future. You know, remember that. To Ignore people if you have to. Attention is a currency, and some people are looking for your attention. Your energy is very valuable, and it comes through, and like I said, it's given off through your attention, like through what you focus on, what you paying attention to. That's currency. You think about like the people that do things. Reason why depressed people or manic depressed people do things where they acting out because they're looking for energy. You know what I'm saying? When I was manic depressive, I was like fucking just doing anything, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't manic depressive in being negative, pulling people down, but in, how can I say, in the essence of vamping, of looking for energy, like where I just like, just being the person, like, woo, like, just again, looking for some type of energy, you know what I'm saying? So looking at myself in that state, like when you're in a depressive mode, you just attention currency, or attention, because it is currency. You know what I'm saying? So ignoring, gotta put your foot down, ignore some people right now. Like ask yourself, will I not be able to start my business if I ignore it? For like, am I not like, is this really gonna harm me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would just have to be extremely beneficial for you to answer somebody in order to answer them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't deal with nobody you don't have to deal with. It's just that, no longer serve you. Don't deal with them. Like, because we, again, on this impact, we feel like, oh man, I can't ignore this person's message. But think about it. Don't feel bad because this person is allowing a demon to come at you. So why are you even feeling sorry for this person in essence right now? I mean, of course, you could have some type of empathy towards their being because they're being controlled by a lower vibration, but at the same time, don't feel obligated to answer that person because you feel sorry for them, this and that, man. Ignore. Nip it in the butt right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to myself too right now. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, time, and it's not the time that is precious. It's the moment. It's the now that's precious. Not time. When we think about, oh, time is precious. No, your now is precious. Your moment. That's what we're really speaking of. Right now is precious. Don't let nobody take your now away from you. you know? Again, when you are filled full of problems, there is no room for anything new to enter. Oh, and math, speak on that note, and then I'm for sure start closing up. But like moving, like detoxing on all levels too. I spoke about like the five senses for like what you're looking at, what you're smelling, what you're tasting, what you're hearing, who you're being around. Like it's consumption on all levels, but also the decent vibe. Like say for instance, I'm here at my mom's crib and they got like old clothes in the closet, old little things. Like I'm throwing all that away because that's all little energy. Like that's all holding space. That's old energies that's holding me, trying to keep me as little Carl Ray, like Carl Ray, Rizzle, that used to live in this house a long time ago. Like, bro, like having that still around is like energies that's still trying to hold me in that old construct of myself. Like matter of fact, and I looked in the closet the other day. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I just started like pulling things off the coat hanger. Matter of fact, big shirts. Like matter of fact, you remember the franchise boys and shit. No, not shake the lavy tab, do the finger snap. And the big white, or fresh in my white tee, like the big t-shirts and the big clothes and stuff. Like I don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? So, and two, if it became a fashion again to do it, I'll buy some new clothes. You know what I'm saying? Again, like getting rid of all the old stuff on all levels. You know what I'm saying? That old car need to just be put into the junkyard. Like let that car go, scrap it for some money, and work to get you a new car right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to deal with the old clothes, or that love letter from high school that you still got. All that. Like that's just that's keeping you in your old construct, keeping you, what I'm saying, from growing into your, your high self, your greatest version. You know what I'm saying? Holding on to old stuff. So So again, detoxifying on all levels, cleaning out the closet, the car, you know, the home in general, your body, your book sack, your purse, just everything, cleaning out everything and making room for, for new things. This Virgo energy, nurturing energy, earthy energy, bringing those dreams into a physical manifested reality. You know? Yep, because that's what creates stagnant energy is just keeping old things around you, old things that no longer serve you. Gotta keep going. But that's basically it, y'all. Just kind of seeing if I ain't got no question I could answer right quick before I go. Oh yeah, that's a sign of like whenever you ignore a person, like again, people that vibrating on a frequency, like say for example, you ignored a person, which this won't line up. So this is extremely hypothetical because a person that's vibrating on a certain frequency is not going to appear to be a vamp to you. You know what I'm saying? But let's just say like when you ignore somebody, you know, ignoring a person if they don't get pissed off. So if they like, oh yeah, I wasn't worried. I know you probably was gonna get back to me or whatever. But like they good about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like they. And matter of fact, even more so, like, oh yeah, man, I understand energy, bro. Like sometimes I ignore messages, sometimes I be meditating this and that. So I understand why you ignore my message. That's who you trying to deal with, somebody that really understand. But when you dealing with somebody like pissed off, like why you ignore me, or why you ain't do this, why you ain't do that, like that energy right now, like if you find yourself dealing with that energy right now, like you gotta cut that short, man. You gotta cut that. Can't even say words and then I gotta talk like this, man. You gotta cut that out right now. Like it ain't nothing for that energy, man. You gotta cut that out. So yeah, if you feel a person being pissed off or mad from you being on your spiritual growth, that's an obvious sign to stop fucking with that person. Excuse my diction. But it is what it is. Gotta put that emphasis. Gotta stop fucking with that person. And again, and also making sure we don't stay like in the mind frame of the negative aspect of society, of the oppressors, and this negative aspect of like how they got the war on drugs and the war on this, like where it's against something. you know we don't want to look at it as oh yeah, gotta cut people off, like like being happy about like cutting people off in essence, which I mean, of course, it does bring happiness in the essence of being able to move forward energetically, of course. But just look at your situation more of just getting closer to the people that you do vibe with, making sure you create stronger connections with the people that you do vibe with, and just start to ignore those other connections. So it's not as much as like looking around like, yo, trying to cut you off, because then that's where the ego kind of revamps itself. You got to be careful, because the ego could hide in our spirituality, if you're not careful. Again, being aware of like if you're trying to be right or wrong or create some type of love, the ego is moving in there. So like when you super on that vibe of like the sheeple and this and that, and people will never understand, they won't never get this spiritual information, then be real with you, you vibrating on the same frequency as them in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because then you looking at them, it's like something that's less than you, and something to be against. You know what I'm saying? So you dropping down to that vibe. In essence. So again, looking at it from a positive man of just staying closer, just focusing on the energies that you really want around you. Don't don't focus on the ones that you don't. Then don't look at it. Don't pay attention to it. Your attention is currency. Is energetic currency. Oh yeah, Vesica. Oh well, if they don't get it, then again, that's need to be around right now. And again, it's only if you want to grow to be your greatest version, Vesica. If you want to grow to be your greatest version, and you might want to get, move away from those situations. Like, again, I think to when people ask me about, oh, I'm in a, my parents, this and that. I stay with my parents and they very toxic towards me. Or I stay with so and so, my roommate, this and that. Or like, bruh, the universe giving you a sign that it's time for you to move around. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless the vibe is more so closer to, so say if you in a situation living with somebody and they negative, unless the situation is showing you that they are about to get kicked out or leave sometime soon, then you are the one that should be leaving or kicking yourself out of that situation. Like, but like, it's you're not obligated to deal with toxic people. That's the mind frame. That's the insane mind frame that this government and society created, knowing that it was going against our true spiritual nature. It's like creating a vibe like a if I'm sad about something, you know, other people gotta be sad with me, and that means they that they love me because they going through it with me. Like, nah, that's the most idiotic and stupid thing ever. Like, I'm not supposed to be sad with you because you're sad. If anything, I'm gonna sit here and tell jokes and stay funny and stay at a high vibration. And at every point where you try to, well, this and that, try to bring me down, I'm gonna say some shit that's funny. And matter of fact, I make the situation awkward as fuck if you still gonna try to be negative. Cause I'm gonna be super positive, and I'm just gonna have an awkward situation. And cause I'm not stooping down to your fucking level. I'm not trying to cry with you. I'm gonna say something funny to make you stop crying. Now, of course, crying in the sense of like, all right, yeah, you let some energy go, but like crying on some negative shit that no longer serve you or whatever, whatever. It's like, nah, I'm not. None of our jobs is to we reach our hand out to pull somebody out of the quicksand, but that's it. We don't jump in the quicksand because then you got two people in the quicksand. Now two people need help instead of one. Two people are energetically negative now instead of one person. Two people are energetically suffering instead of one person. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't stoop to that level. The reason why you're always able to raise to a high place is because our higher self never stoops to the lower level of our lower self. Like, our higher self is always like, hey, I'm right here waiting for you to vibrate on the same frequency as me whenever you're ready. I'm not going down there. Matter of fact, I think about Abraham Hicks and how she kind of about like how she want to be negative about something, be all in her feelings, and she'd be like, Abraham, come down here with me. You know what I'm saying? And wallow in this pain. And Abraham like, nah, I'd rather not. Look, I'm gonna stay in this high frequency right here. But whenever you ready, look, it is always an invitation to come to this level right here. You know what I'm saying? You're always welcome to this high vibrational state of being that I'm in right now. You're always welcome to be in it. But I'm not going to your vibration. I'm not meeting you in your vibration, but feel free to come to mine. And of course, there's a balance with us, doing this shaman work and connecting with certain people. Matter of fact, again, that's where the crystals come in. You know what I'm saying? It allows us to be around a certain level of lower vibrations and still maintain our own. But our our job is not to hop in the quicksand with people. You throw the rope out there, in order to pull them in. But that's the most you could do, or the most you should do in essence. Not trying to hop into the quicksand with the people, because again, then there's two motherfuckers screaming help instead of one, and then somebody else come to help. If they get duped in. Because matter of fact, because now the negative energy got momentum, so now it's two people in the quicksand. So another person help, they come to help. They gotta be super strong to not get, caught up by that. Like, man, come on, man, we got. And then they get caught up, and then bam, they in there too. Instead of like trying to pull a person out, they in the quicksand too. Now you got three people in the quicksand. Oh, out of there. It just turned into, a bunch of people in the quicksand not being helped. That's the insanity. That's the insanity that the social norm in America or in our society, in essence, creates. Like, You gotta be sad because I'm sad. And that's not the truth. Yep. Ryan Wilson. Ignore people or try to help them progress. All right, I think this is the note I'm gonna leave on right here. Again, it is our jobs to make sure we love ourselves and make sure this vessel is vibrating on a certain frequency first and foremost. Then next, you know, if as you're vibrating on your high frequency, taking care of yourself, if you feel inspired to help somebody, you know, cool, because you're inspired, you're in your spirit. Your spirit is, you know, I gotta say, giving you this push to, to help this person. But it's a thin line between feeling that inspiration and sometimes when we see a person and then we'll see a person and egotistically thinking our thoughts by looking at the person, not feeling the energy. Oh, this person looks like they need help. This person looks like they should listen to this information that I'm on. And that's when you're getting outside of it. Then you're trying to preach to somebody that you shouldn't be preaching to, or whatever the case may be. So again, when we say ignore people, is looking at the vibration. So Ryan, when somebody is coming at you for help, feel the energy. Does it feel like they're really coming for help and like you could really help them in a spiritual manner, or do you feel like they just kind of looking for attention and just want to vent their negativity and not really ask for no help? You know what I'm saying? Then you should ignore that person. You know what I'm saying? Point blank. Like it's feeling the energy. It's not, again, there's no black and white situation where like if a person does this, you automatically do this. You gotta feel the energy. And I mean, and again though, in most cases though, it's not our jobs to overly try to help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like in that manner, like being overly hands on in somebody else's situation, like how to help themselves. You know, like me being back home, like I wasn't walking around trying to forcefully preach to everybody, but then say for I had a situation where my cousin pulled me to the side and wanted, some information or something. So it's like, all right, and in a manner where she showed and presented it. Well, I'm not trying to energy vamp you. I'm not. Well, she didn't say it, but you could just feel the way she asked and presented it. Where it was like, all right, this is a beneficial. Not only I get to be in my true soul purpose of sharing information, but she's in a receptive mode of really listening to what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the situation is fully open to it. But again, it's either hell yes or hell no. So if I don't feel a hell yes in helping a person or sharing information, then it's a hell no. I don't even deal with it because it's not your job. Like God is everything. It's another situation why people feel like that. Kind of subconsciously got this mind frame of that God is this sky daddy in the sky. And they got these 10 commandments. And if you don't follow them in this certain manner, you going to hell. Like if you don't help every single person, you going to hell, this and that. Like get out of that mind frame. Like that's a moralistic human thing. You're not going to hell or being, like nothing bad is gonna happen to you for you making sure you take care of your own energy and stand away from somebody else's negativity. Like how in the hell, how in the hell, no pun intended, how in the hell, you know what I'm saying? Going I don't even know, but yeah, it's a balance. So, you know, and with me talking about ignoring people, that's ignoring again the energetic liabilities, not people necessarily looking for help in essence, but people that's just like just trying to be negative, or the way they looking for help is in a negative manner, in a way that's not beneficial to themselves or others. Just say for instance looking for help, but they just want to complain, and not really hear no solutions. That's when you're being vamped and allowing yourself to be vamped. It's like you sitting around and somebody explaining all this bad shit, and they don't want you to give them no explanation, and you still sitting there going listening to their bullshit, knowing that they don't want no explanation, and you allowing yourself to be vamped. But yeah, you know, with helping somebody progress, like matter of fact, you see how I help people progress. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to like, hey you, you know what I'm saying, this and that. Like, hey, I make a YouTube channel. YouTube channel or YouTube video. People either gravitate towards it or not. But I'm not forcefully putting this on nobody or not. You know what I'm saying? But all right. So let me see. Hold on. I see some. Before I go, I see another question. All right. Oh, do that G walk. You say you vent a lot when you get upset. I mean, if you venting, for one, be aware of the person's energy. Have some type of reverence and respect for the person's energy that you're venting to, and to the level of vent in the essence of looking for a solution. Also, don't be venting just to be negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, venting helps, but you know, you don't want to just throw your negative energy on people without looking for no solutions. Wanna be looking for solutions. We're dealing with that energy. Focused in now. Focus on, you know, again, first and foremost, meditation, diet, and being in the now. You know what I'm saying? Focus on the now, and as you start to meditate, eat healthier, stay in the now, your intuition is going to become louder. Your inner guidance system is going to become louder to where, again, you don't even have to question these situations. Where you'll start to see that if you do, say for instance, put yourself into a bad situation, you could be able to reflect and say, like, obviously, like, see, like, all right, I did hear that voice that told me to not go there. You know what I'm saying? So you'll start to see your inner voice and inner guidance getting, louder right now in these times. But I mean, but more so again through your meditation and through your, eating healthy. If anything feels like the only things that gonna feel harmful to you but are beneficial to you are exactly that. The things that, say for instance, that's when you know that's your ego probably like trying to keep you from growing. But like if you find a situation to be hard, like you find like, man, it feel hard to stop eating like I say for instance, where I'm going at with this, life in your spiritual practice is about doing what you love, you know what I'm saying, at all times. But like in some cases when we're in the mind frame of our ego, it something that have the appearance of is something that we don't love or don't want to do, but it's if how can I say, but it's important for us to do because it'll help us grow, in essence, and something that we benefit from. But I'm trying to think because this is like a funny way. It's also showing me that it's time to finish this video, but and yep, because if I can't stay on to that, but it's like I'm trying to think because it's people get a mind frame of, because some things in growth, you know what I'm saying, we are kind of run away from. So say for instance procrastination. Procrastination is something that you need to grow past in order to become your greatest version. But like it feel like something that's like Like it's not something you love. Like say from the perspective of your egoic mind, it doesn't love to grow out of procrastination. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about the vibration of doing what you love, like every day and every moment, just do what makes you feel happy and what you know and what you love and what makes you feel happy. And that's why I thought about. I'm like, do what you love and what makes you feel happy, but also though in alignment with what's beneficial to your soul. Because some things may make you feel happy, make you feel good, but may not be beneficial for your soul. Whereas more so your egoic mind that may benefit from the situation. Matter of fact, looking for some little momentarily satisfaction that's gonna satisfy you for a quick little second, but then have you back, being negative or being, in whatever mode you were in. But yeah, do that G walk. Om Shri Ganeshaya Nama is a good mantra. Do that G walk to do that G walk. I said I had to laugh myself, but like the Om Shri Ganeshaya Nama for removing obstacles. That's a good mantra. Man, the solution is just always, there's always a solution to your problems because in a lot of cases, a lot of our problems are illusions. It's more so about being in the moment, be in the moment. If you feel like life is just giving you so many problems because you're just having problems with being purchase this book. Those of y'all who really want to spiritually liberate yourselves, purchase this book ASAP. Now is the vibrate. If you want to spiritually liberate yourself right now, you shouldn't say, "Well, I'm gonna buy the book next week." Because matter of fact, right in that moment, showing yourself why you dealing with what you're dealing with. Here it is. You need to help yourself in the moment, but you like, I'm gonna do it next week or tomorrow or whatever. Like, nah. How do you stop having violent imaginations when you feel a person is getting on your nerves? Do your inner work. That person getting on your nerves because they displaying a vibration that you're not accepting within yourself. Like for one, that person is getting on your nerves because you are allowing them to, and because of the fact that obviously they're getting on your nerves and you continuously trying to still have a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, honestly, if somebody was getting on my nerves to the point of me having violent imaginations, I would definitely remove that person from from any and all my situations first and foremost. Like I would start there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like cuz if anybody, again, you allowing yourself to be around this person, they triggering this energy. You need to meditate and eat health. Like anybody who still have extreme, like where they thoughts seem like they're extremely controlling them, or they feel like they got type of thoughts that pop up that seem extremely negative, then you just need to meditate more. Point blank. Period. Go check. I got my eternal health videos. I got like about 5 different videos on different methods of meditation. Like you gotta clear your mind first and foremost. Eat healthy. You know what I'm saying? You eating foods. You eating these little animals. Not saying you personally, but just you know what I'm saying. And again, everything in moderation. But me personally, I just don't deal with meat at all. You know, but it's your diet and meditation. You know, because even with myself, like I have to find like with my inner self. So just like how you said, there's a certain person that gets on your nerves or this and that. With myself, like not being how could I say, feeling some kind of way with certain questioning and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like seeing my reflection in myself, well, I done asked certain questions that may have not made sense or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's the thing to, again, look within yourself and be like, all right. Let's say if the person that getting on your nerves, are they doing something that you used to do to people to get on other people's nerves? You know what I'm saying? In some way, form, or fashion. But again, Matt Spark, like especially when you say violent imaginations, like why are you around that person? You know, Cause again, if a person is getting on our nerves, that means when you listen to that statement, getting on our nerves, meaning continuously getting on our nerves, which means we're continuously allowing for that person to be around us, you know. And again, act in the now, accept the moment. You got somebody that you're living with that gets on your nerves, accept that. Now, in this moment, start to work in a manner that helps you to change that. Start looking up some apartments, start finding a new job that's gonna be revenue to get you out of that part, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you holding yourself into right now. Think about it. Unless you have a chain and ball attached to you in a certain situation, like unless literally like you're in a house right now, like y'all watching this video and you chained to the wall, and like the people who making you mad, getting on your nerves and all this, like you can't get away from because you're tied to the wall or something like that, then that's the only person right now that could have excuse for dealing with toxic people in that sense. Is a person that's like locked in the house, tied to the wall on some Saw type of shit, like the movie Saw. Like you just, but other than that, most of us are not locked up like that and have the freedom to do what we love and what we please, which means get away from toxic people. We don't have to be around these people. Again, yes, Yama. Yep, you are late. You usually be in here earlier. Oh. Probably, matter of fact, because probably you see in the background, because I am, videoing in my mom's crib, so. Li Raven, good suggestion, because it could be violence from a past life too, and in essence, again, meditation, going within, because your intuition is gonna give you some kind of insight on what's going on with the situation. I think. Yep. I'm out, y'all. Stay away from the energetic liabilities. Detoxify on all levels. Get rid of the hindrances and things. Stop consuming the hindering things. Like stop consuming with your eyes and your ears and your nose and your mouth. All the things that are dirtying up your vibration. Stop consuming it. Like be serious, because at the end of the day, you know, is you have yourself. You got to clean the situation up for yourself. Nobody's gonna make sure. Like, let me make sure I don't bring my negativity around this. Like, no, you gotta make sure that other people's job is not to take care of you in essence. So that's why you gotta